Tirico, Greg Olson, 3 months. It's the best month of the NFL season because the games get more important as the weather gets a little bit colder.
And this is where you find out who the real teams are and who the pretenders are. Do you find yourself not only in the playoff conversation, but can you now play good enough ball down the stretch to not only be in the conversation, but actually find yourself in the postseason?
Stage is set. Ball is on the tee. And off we go on EA Sports. This will be returned from the 6. And it'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive. The Miami offense will make their way onto the field. And taking the snaps, a quarterback now in his 3rd year in the league.
Really solid all-around performance last week, Mike, and I think the biggest factor that led to the win is his ability to continue to protect the football. He executed the offense, ran. It might have been earth-shattering performance statistically. They got the win. If he can continue to play that style of ball, it's going to be a tough group to match up with.
They'll come up on a 2nd down and 8. He'll look to throw. Quick throw here is complete. And he's going to be dropped after a pickup of about 5. They'll come up to 3rd. Back to throw. Rush comes. They're setting up the screen. The screen works for 10 yards and a 1st down.
These 3rd down conversions are just so important, Mike. Everybody stresses we want to possess the ball, give our offense as much opportunity to end as many drives as we can, scoring points. So if you want to stay on the field, you better be good on 3rd down.
1st and 10. A zone read here, and he's going to keep this himself. Trying to avoid tacklers there, but the ball is out. And the defense has it. And now, following the turnover, we have an injured player on the field. So as they look at the injured player, we'll take a timeout. On play action, he'll set up to throw. Going down the center of the field, open man, and it's taken in. And they bring him down there, but it is inside the 10. It is going to be 1st and goal.
If you want to score points at a high level in the NFL, you have to generate explosive plays. And after that big chunk pass play, they find themselves now down there in the red zone, and this is where you have to finish drives.
A great chance to convert that early turnover into points. Here's 1st and goal. Here's a run. That's a nice pickup, bringing it down to the 3. 2nd and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he will power his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. That touchdown gives him taking care of business on the ground to get the score. And Greg, the big guys up. Praise.
takes one guy to distort the defense and win his block. But in this case, give credit to the entire unit. They did their job, and they reward their offense with a touchdown.
7-0 is our score as this kick is sent into the air. Very good kickoff. Returnable from the 4. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line. They'll begin here on the ground. And he'll plow forward for a gain of 4 yards. Here's 2nd and 6.
4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6.
They'll stick with him again. They'll mark him down up at the 44-yard line.
And a nice pickup there by the back with an explosive run play. And it's important to point out, Mike, his offensive play caller, he's still working off that opening script. It doesn't necessarily have to just be the first possession. Using formations, using run game and pass. Unmask the defense and understand where to take the play calling as the game unfolds.
2nd down and 3.
At the Texans' 49-yard line.
They'll run it on the inside handoff. And he's going to have a first down. Good run down inside the 45-yard line.
I think this 2nd down call, Mike, they were hoping that at worst they had themselves set up for a 3rd down and short. But there's no need for 3rd down. He was able to get enough on 2nd, and they get a fresh set of downs.
And they'll take this down inside the 35. So they come to the line for 1st down and 10. Out of the gun, he'll throw. Gets it away quickly, and it's caught. And they will take him down at the 20-yard line.
Every once in a while, it just comes down to you need somebody in the huddle to just make a play. And it wasn't a whole lot fancy here. The quarterback just dumps the ball down, a quick underneath completion, and then really it's the yards after catch that did the rest. And that's what it takes. You're not always going to have the perfect play. You're not always going to dial up the perfect play against the perfect look. Sometimes players need to make plays, and that was a good one there.
They're going to motion the tight end over here. They'll look to throw again. He keeps it himself.
I love this call, Mike. 2nd down and short. One of the best downs in football to take a shot. Give credit to the defense. They were ready for it. But a nice job by the quarterback, realizing there's nothing downfield. Take off, turn into a runner, pick up the 1st down.
Some room to run as he takes it down to the 2-yard line. Now here's 2nd and goal. To throw. That is caught to the goal line and in. Touchdown, Miami. Elliott, good on the extra point. And the Dolphins will tie things up at 7-7 here in the opening quarter. So back to level after the touchdown. And time for the kickoff. He fields it at the 8. And he'll work this one past the 25 to right about the 28-yard line. The Texans offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. He has played well all season long, entering this final stretch of games in December and January as the NFL leader in touchdown passes. Quick throw, taken in. He's close to a 1st down to gain a 9. Nice pitch and catch on 1st down. 2nd and a yard. Slot man in motion right. Pressure gets there, and down he goes. third down. They'll set up to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. That is great work there, making things difficult defensively. It'll set up a fourth down. And no return forthcoming. It's a touchback, and will come out to the 20-yard line. The Dolphins offense and the wideout getting set to go once more. As we hit the home stretch here, you can see he leads all NFL wideouts in touchdown receptions for the year. That one good for a dozen. And a very quick first down. Off the play fake. He'll look to throw. Oh, not a good throw there. That's across his body. It's intercepted. And he's going to give a short field to his offense here as they try to break the tie. They'll come up here, 1st and 10. Now, faking the give. Got a man coming across the field. He's got it. And he's out of bounds all the way inside the 15-yard line. So, a big one there.
To play quarterback in the NFL, Mike, and of course that's a given, but it's really the cerebral approach to the game that separates the best from everybody else, and I think both of those things were on display there, as he did not only a great job of finding the vulnerabilities of the back end, but then once his guy was there, it was that arm talent that put the ball in the exact right spot to allow his guy to make the big play.
An enviable spot to operate from. Here's 2nd and inches. Blitz coming. He'll throw it, and he'll take it on in. Touchdown, Texans. Now the try here for the point after. He gets it to go, and the Texans will move out to a 14-7 lead. Both teams ready to go once more as the kick's away. This one taken at the 7. And a solid run back there. He'll get this out past the 30-yard line. He'll go left side here and complete this one. He's still on his feet. And he will score. Touchdown, Dolphins. On is Elliott to add the extra point. It's up and through. And the Dolphins will tie things up. We are all even at 14. We are all square. 14 apiece the score as this one's away. This taken at the 5. Oh, he's got room past the 30. Terrific return. He's taken down just shy of midfield. Here's 1st and 10. Off play action. He'll set up to throw. Got a man open downfield on the crossing route. And he's going to be brought down inside the 15.
This defense just gets punched in the mouth on that one, Mike, and it just seemed from up here that not everyone on defense was on the same page, and the offense was able to take advantage of it. The defense has to clean things up here in a hurry, because if they don't, they could be in for a long day.
They can still get a first down at the 1. 1st and 10, they go from the 11. Blown back in the backfield. He'll get the carry here. And a good run there. Going to get him 5 yards. Back to the ground. He'll get it again. And the defense there to meet him. They'll hold him to 2 and bring up 3rd down. Here comes the blitz as he looks to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. That is great work there, making things difficult defensively. It'll set up a 4th down. The Texans going to turn things over to their field goal unit. This about as short as you can get. He'll bang that one through. It's good. And the Texans move out in front. The new score, 17-14.
It's always a little bit of a letdown, Mike. You find yourself deep in the red zone, and you have to settle for a short field goal like that. In this case, he's able to put it through, and they get 3.
And he'll be brought down just beyond the 25-yard line. The Dolphins offense and their big play wideout getting set for their next possession. And what a start he's off to. You don't want to start prorating numbers out for 4 quarters, but fair to say, this defense is going to have to find some way to slow him down. He'll throw it left and has his running back. And they will bring him down on the other side of midfield. A pickup there of 28 yards. They send the tight end in motion. Little short pass here, caught by his tight end. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play in this opening quarter. Set to go now on 1st and 10. He'll drop the throw. Got his receiver on the in-cut. He's got it.
This is one of those throws where you're hoping you do most of the damage after the catch, but give credit to the defense. Once that ball was caught, they were on him quickly, and there was nowhere for him to go after the catch.
And that's going to be incomplete. Coverage was good that time. The contact jarring the ball loose and forcing 3rd down. Now they'll set up to throw. Short pass taken in by the tight end. That's his 3rd catch of this first half, and good enough for a first down.
I love the way the ball's been moving around to different guys this drive, Mike. I mean, it really keeps the defense guessing and off balance. And now this defense is going to have to figure out how to keep this offense out of the end zone because it's 1st and goal.
Ball resting on the 9. 1st down and goal. They'll look to throw yet again. His throw left side is complete. And they'll get this down to the 3, but no further. It'll be 2nd and goal. From the gun, they'll try to run it. Trying to push the pile forward. He didn't even get to the 1-yard line. They stopped him short. No gain. Once more from the 2. 3rd and goal. And he's in. Touchdown Miami. 2 touchdowns for him in the game. Numbers 17 number 2. Greg, he is off to some kind of start in this one. 2 quarters and 2 receiving touchdowns.
Mike, this is one of those situations where as a defensive coordinator, you've got to give your group an answer, because right now, they don't have one for this guy.
The extra point by Elliott is good. And the Dolphins move out in front by 4. It's 21-17. So following the score, here comes Elliott to kick this one away. From the 6, here comes a return. He'll get this up to the 28-yard line. Nice place for the drive to start. The Texans offense ready to get back at it. Trail by 4. Touchdown gives them the lead. Drive begins with 1st and 10. Right away, they'll set up to throw. And they'll be set up now. Up past the 40 with that one. A fresh set of downs to work with. It is 1st down and 10. Thrown left side. The catch is made. And they're going to work this.
Often the quarterback is able to throw the ball to his first read in the progression. So hats off to the play caller. Him and the quarterback seeing the game through the exact same set of eyes, and there is a lot of room to operate.
The shotgun snap. He'll look to throw. And he's brought down after a gain of 6 on 1st down. They'll come up now for 2nd down and 4. They'll run. He'll try the left side now. He'll be stopped after a pickup of about 3. Javon Holland up to make the tackle. They'll look to pick this up 3rd and a yard. He'll look to throw. He'll look middle, and he's got his man complete. And he will have the 1st down. The drive will continue after a pickup of 8. Back to throw. Got his man at the 6. And they're going to be set up now as he's brought down at the 5-yard line.
Mike, you've heard me say it 1,000 times. The easiest down to throw the ball in the NFL is 1st down. I hate when teams wait till later in the possession to throw the ball. So early 1st down completion, you're on the plus side of the field. Now you're thinking strike. Touchdown, field goal. But either way, I'm coming away with points.
And he's going to lose yardage here. Taken down back at the 8. The task a bit tougher as they face 2nd and goal. And this throw out of the back of the end zone. It's incomplete. This is the 8th play of this drive, and it's 3rd and goal. This one caught at the 4. And he'll get this inside the 5, but no further. Great job by the defense. It sets up 4th down. He is 2 for 2. That kick is good. And the Texans cut the deficit down to 1.
Yeah, he does a nice job handling that kick there, but I think offensively, you come back to the sideline and you're thinking, we have to find a way to finish these drives. I mean, to be in 1st and goal and settle for 3, that can be very deflating for an offense settling for too many field goals.
Following the kickoff, we have an injured player on the field. The training staff going to look and will step out for a moment. They'll break the huddle. Coming up now for 1st and 10. Putting one of their tight ends in motion left. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Quick throw here is complete. And that keeps him ahead of schedule. That's a 1st down completion of 7 yards. This forward for about 3 yards. So, from the 36, it is 1st and 10. They'll stay on the ground. And he's going to be stuck well behind the line of scrimmage. A play going absolutely nowhere. After the loss of 3, it is 2nd and 13. Out of the gun, he'll throw. And that is incomplete.
This offense has to find a way to be better on 1st and 2nd down, Mike. Living in these 3rd and long situations, must pass, is not a recipe that their offensive coordinator wants to operate in.
The Texans offense getting those helmets back on, ready to head out for their next possession. The deficit is 1, as they'll search now for that go-ahead score. A throw right side is intercepted. And he is going to score. A pick 6 touchdown.
Make a play that's not there, because not only do you turn the ball over, you give them an easy 6.
And on the other side, the defense, what a moment. Uplifting for them. Big momentum build.
Yeah, and that's the way games are shaped in this league, Mike. I mean, you find yourself able to capitalize on a mistake by an offense. You get yourself an easy touchdown. All of a sudden, your sideline finds themselves completely rejuvenated.
So following the score, here comes Elliott to kick this one away. Now return coming from the 7. A good return as he takes it across the 30. The Houston offense going to make their way back onto the field. The deficit is 8 as this drive begins with 1st and 10. They motion the slot man left. On play action, he'll set up to throw. And he's down inside the 40-yard line.
I love these crossing routes, Mike. Not only do they put so much stress into the deep layers of the defense, but they really allow the wide receivers to run with the ball after the catch. We just saw a great example why, and it led to a huge chunk play.
Now a 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Throwing now from the gun. Going right sideline and complete. That's catch number 5 tonight, and it's good for a 1st down.
These are the kind of plays that when you draw them up on the chalkboard, Mike, they all look great. But if you can't protect long enough, you're never going to get the receiver. I mean, think, he started on the left side of the formation in the slot, and he has to run all the way across the field to the right 3rd. I mean, that takes a lot of time. Let's give a lot of credit to the big guys up front.
He'll try again here. 2nd and 10. On the bootleg, he'll look to throw. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They got him. So, 2 minutes to play in a back-and-forth 1st half. We'll come back to Miami after this. Work to do following the sack. It is 3rd and long. They'll look to throw. He's got his man on the in route. Yes, taken in over the middle. Now the Dolphins going to use the first of their timeouts. The Texans going to turn things over to their field goal unit. This from extra point range, a 33-yard field goal attempt.
And I can tell you firsthand, Mike, when you find yourself trailing in a game, you don't feel very good about coming away with field goals. But in this case, it does get them a little bit closer and cut into this deficit.
A safe kick taken at the 5. Across the 20, they'll mark them down before the 25-yard line. And that's where the offense will take over. The Dolphins offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. So here's a 1st and 10 now. They'll start from the 24. Back to throw here to begin the drive. Throwing right, it's taken in. They get 13 to begin the drive. It's a first down. Tight end going in motion here. Blitz coming. He'll throw it. To the right side here. Pass is caught. He's taken down, but just shy of midfield. A couple of first downs, and the football's out to the 48-yard line as they come up 1st and 10. Quick throw, taken in, and they'll get about half of what they needed. It's a pickup of 5 and sets up 2nd and 5.
At the 47-yard line.
Pitts is the man in motion. They'll look to throw again. To the tight end, and he fits it in on the corner route. And they'll take this down inside the 35. Putting the tight end in motion. Back to the air one more time. And he can't hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. What a good job defensively to meet him just as the ball was arriving. And it'll be 2nd down. That one incomplete. After back-to-back incompletions, they now face 3rd down and 10. He'll drop to throw. He'll try and get there on the ground. And he's going to go into the end zone on an electrifying run. Touchdown, Dolphins. That one is going to hurt the defense. He's looking to throw, can't find anyone, takes off, and Greggy takes it the distance for an exciting touchdown run.
And these are the plays, Mike, that just drive defensive coordinators crazy. You have all of his targets covered up, nowhere to go with the ball, and next thing you know, he gets out of the pocket, takes it all the way with his legs. He's just as dangerous with those feet as he is with his arm.
This will be returned from the 6. And it'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive. Texans offense and their wide receiver getting ready to get back to work. The deficit is double digits, so work to do as they begin this drive with 1st and 10. The Texans going to go ahead and use their first timeout here as they'll stop it just a little bit over 30 seconds to go in this first half. Little short pass here, caught by his tight end.
Well, we'll give a little credit here defensively. Even though they allow the first down, we've seen defenses really struggle bringing this big tight end to the ground, and they didn't allow him to pick up a bunch of yards after contact, but he was able to get just enough to pick up the first down.
Here's a timeout, Houston. That's their 2nd. They'll stop the clock at 24 seconds to go until halftime. Here comes the blitz as he looks to throw. He's got room to roam. That long one's going to bring them 1st and goal. He is brought down at the 5-yard line.
And this offense is now really on the move, Mike, and it's the passing game that's leading the way. They've been able to march their way downfield thanks to this aerial attack, so don't expect them to go to the ground game anytime soon. If I'm this play caller, I'm continuing to lead on this, not only in this drive, but probably for the rest of this game.
Another one from the 5, 2nd down and goal. Now they'll set up to throw. And this is too far over the end line. It's incomplete. 2 incomplete passes now lead to this 3rd down and goal. It is brought in the end zone. Touchdown, Houston.
You know, we spent so much time talking about the heroics of a game-winning drive to end the 4th quarter in 2-minute mode. Now let's talk about a 2-minute mode, Mike, at the end of the first half. It might not be in walk-off fashion, but I'll tell you what, executing that here going into halftime changes this entire game.
The extra point try forthcoming. The kick, is good. And the Texans have cut the deficit to 5.
Texans 30.
Just 8 seconds now until halftime, and the kick's away. This kick is fielded in the end zone, but no move to bring it out. It's touchback, and that ball will come out to the 30-yard line. They fake the jet sweep and give it up the middle. And he'll take this forward for about 3. It's second down. So we're at halftime here on Sunday Night Football as we send you up to Orlando for a check-in with John. And both teams ready to play on, so we'll do the same as we get set for quarter number 3. We'll start at the 4. The visitors' offense and their quarterback headed out for their next possession. And as we take you through some of the highlights so far, you're going to see from 25, they'll go to work. 1st and 10. They'll throw out of the gun. This one's going to be taken in over the middle. And he'll be taken down all the way up past the 45.
A gain of 22 yards.
Now, so far here today, putting points on the board certainly hasn't been a problem, and plays like that are why. Think about it, Mike. Sometimes you just have to take what the defense gives you and not force something that's not there, and that mid-range pass results in a fresh set of downs.
Throwing now on 1st and 10. And he'll get about 8 on that one. Most of it coming after the catch. It's second down.
8 yards on the pickup. Brings up 2nd and 2. As the Dolphins 46-yard line.
A handoff as they try to run it here. And he'll be close to a 1st down. A gain of a couple as they mark him just short. Here's 3rd down and a few inches. Try to pick this one up on the ground. Call it a gain of 13. 1st down for Houston.
In today's game, Mike, we're so used to seeing everyone go for quarterback sneak in this situation. 3rd and inches, just let your quarterback kind of barrel forward and get a fresh set of downs. But a nice change up here, giving the ball to your back. Not only is he picked
to the goal line and in. Touchdown, Texans.
Well, it seems this game is kind of getting to the point, Mike, where it's defense optional. I mean, both these teams are really just having their way with their opponent. They're going up and down the field, and after this long touchdown, yes, this is great if you're a fantasy player, but it's not so great if you're a defensive coordinator.
Now, a 2-point conversion attempt coming.
The Texans will line up for the 2-point conversion.
And he will get in for the 2. They open up the bag of tricks on the goal line and add a pair of points.
35.
The kickoff team is out on the field, and we're back to it as the kick's away. This one taken at the 7. And this will work out quite well. He'll get it all the way out to the 30-yard line. The Dolphins offense and their running back getting ready to go back to work. And you look at his numbers as a pass catcher in this one. They've lined him up in different spots, shifted him around, and they've made him a real weapon in the passing game. That's over the middle and intercepted. And his offense is going to be all set up with a short field and a chance to extend their lead.
I think anytime you find yourself trailing in the second half, Mike, all offensive play callers fight the urge to chase those points. They tend to get a little bit overeager. They tend to push the envelope sometimes a little too far. Those turnovers, they only make the deficit grow, not shrink. Now, there's a lot of football left, Mike. They can still get back into this. They just have to be a little bit smarter about which risks you're willing to take.
Now, after the run, we get a stoppage for an injured player. And as the medical staff looks him over, we'll step aside. Second down and 8. There's that man again. Another catch. His 8th reception of the game. And good for a first down.
And the Texans first down.
In the red zone now. He'll drop to... The pressure gets there, and down he goes. A sack.
The offense goes from feeling really good about the previous play with a real nice pickup to then on the ensuing play ending up going the complete opposite direction. Really nice job here by the defense immediately getting back on track. What do the coaches say? Just play the next play, and that's exactly what they did.
Who else? Another catch for his favorite target.
After that first down sack, I think we both kind of looked at each other and said, all right, well, there goes this drive. But a really nice job there in the passing game on second down. That big chunk brings them from second and long to now at least third and manageable.
Got his receiver on the in-cut. He's got it. And a good job here defensively. They did not let him get away. He's well short of the first down mark. The Texans going to turn things over to their field goal unit. This about as short as you can get. Another one through the uprights. He's 4 for 4 on the game. And the Texans will extend their third quarter lead. Both teams ready to go once more as the kick's away. They're trying to pin him deep. They'll take this from the 3. And he's brought down right at the 25-yard line. Out comes Miami and the offense to get started on their next drive. The deficit, 6 points. So a touchdown here would be mighty nice for the offense. See what they can do on this drive. First and 10. 12 yards on the pickup. And that's a first.
To be effective on first down, Mike, it just makes everything else easier. In the event you do have to face a third down the road, they're usually a lot more manageable situations, a lot easier to convert.
And they bring him down, but not until he crosses midfield.
Really nice job there to move the chains early in this drive, but now as they approach midfield, continue to keep your foot on the gas. Don't get conservative. Don't start sitting on the ball. Cross midfield and go. Anytime you find yourself on your opponent's side of the field, you have to be thinking points. What makes great linebackers stand out from the pack is their instincts and their vision. In this case, the linebacker has his keys, brings him right where the ball is going, and he's able to make a play at the point of attack and keep this to a no gain.
Oh, he doesn't put it away, and the ball's out. The Texans have it.
Something these running back coaches preach all the time, Mike, is you can't sacrifice the ball for additional yardage, and I think we had a case of that going here. I love the effort. I love the fight, but it can't come at the expense of the ball. Everything in football is about protecting the ball itself, and in this case, just a little bit too loose with it. They're able to pop it loose, and that's a big turnover.
The visitors' offense makes their way back out to the field for their next possession. They work with a 6-point advantage as they start this drive on first and 10.
All right, so there's really 3 areas that a modern NFL running back has to excel at. Number 1, the traditional handoffs. Number two, you have to be excellent and reliable in pass protection, and maybe bigger than all of them, you have to be at least serviceable out of the backfield in the passing game.
Short pass, taken in by...
This is a great example of why teams want to stay out of what they call passing downs, where a defense doesn't have to honor the run. In this case, they do, and man, the play-action pass just works off of that and can really lead to some chunk plays.
Now a give on the ground. He'll work his way ahead for a gain of about 4. Here's 2nd and 6. To throw. Gets it away quickly, and it's caught. Well, he's brought down. That pass is going to pick up 4 and bring up 3rd down. They'll try to get this one on the ground. And he is going to have a Texans 1st down. He'll have it by plenty. Look to throw. Quick throw here is complete. And he's going to be brought down just outside the 10-yard line.
This is like a textbook, methodical, efficient NFL drive. 4 for 4 throwing the ball, mixing in some run. You're just marching the ball downfield at your will, and they get a fresh set of downs now to see if they can convert this nice drive into some points.
So not quite 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10. They're pretty close. Now, faking the give. Look wide. Get this one complete. And he is on the chalk, stepping out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. That's a loss of 3 on the play.
So as we take a look at the box score, Mike, you realize here they got the lead. We're in the 2nd half, but they don't have a lot of rush yards. It's because they use the passing game to score points and establish the lead.
And that big offensive line, clearing space. He's in. Touchdown, Houston. He's got another one. His 2nd touchdown of the evening. He'll swing that out wide. And he finds his way to the end zone again. Scores both the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to extend the lead. The kickoff team is out on the field, and we're back to it as the kick's away. This returnable from the 4. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line. So now, out comes the offense, led by their quarterback as they take over once again. And this defense has really had their way so far, intercepting him twice, forced into a number of bad throws, and generally the D has just made it tough to operate all game long. So they come to the line for 1st down and 10. Right away, they'll set up to throw. He'll throw it left and has his running back. And they'll get about half of what they needed. It's a pickup of 5 and sets up 2nd and 5.
At the 32-yard line.
They'll look to throw. Man is open, middle of the field. It is caught. His 8th reception of the game. And good for a 1st down.
Whatever they've talked about in the locker room at the halftime break seems to have worked. They've come out with a new established energy. You could see it when they took the field. Now this offense seems to be building on it because with that chunk play, just a little bit of rhythm that they can build off of. They got a long way to go to get back into this game, but so far off to a good start.
To the air now on 1st and 10. Thrown left side, the catch is made. And they bring him down, but not until they get inside the 30-yard line. They'll look to throw yet again. A toss, left side, caught by his running back. And he's brought down after a gain of 6 on first down.
And 4 at the 23-yard line.
Throwing now from the gun. They'll be forced to just throw that one away. It's incomplete.
You can't fault the quarterback on this one, Mike. He really didn't even have much of an opportunity. By the time he hit the top of his drop and got his eyes downfield, the defense was all over him, and he really had no choice but to just get that.
That's 3. Third time tonight he's been intercepted. And he's going to bring this one back the distance. Touchdown, Texans. Well, the quarterback trying to find somebody open there, but that time, instead of finding his running back, it goes back the other way for a defensive score.
Mike, I think this is just one of those cases where the quarterback's just a little too casual with the throw. He kind of goes to his running back late on the check down. He never sees the defender until he's chasing him on his way for the touchdown.
The extra point, up and good. And the Texans will extend this third quarter lead. Both teams ready to go once more as the kick's away. A return now from the 4. And he'll be brought down just beyond the 25-yard line. This offense and their wide receiver heading back onto the field. And you see the numbers for him into this third quarter. They just pop off the screen. He has been open and electric throughout. The drive will start on the ground. The hole closes quickly. He'll pick up about 3. They face second down and 7.
Brings up second and 7.
And he'll be brought down as we tick towards the end of this third quarter.
He's tackled at the 32.
So no shortage of offense in this one as we end the third. And
Dolphins.
third and 5. Blitz coming. He'll throw it. And this is going to be incomplete. That is great work there, making things difficult defensively. It'll set up a fourth down. And that's going to wind up incomplete.
You find yourself down big. It's the fourth quarter. There's really no choice but to go for this at this point. But once again, this defense, they're up to the task, and they come through yet again with a huge stop.
The visitors' offense ready to see what they can do. And as we look back now, Greg, at how we got here, we got a ton of highlights of the offense so far. In particular, great passing.
Yeah, and if you want to score points in the NFL, Mike, there's no secret. You've got to do it primarily through the air, and with 3 touchdowns here so far, that's exactly what we've seen. It's been deep balls. It's been intermediate shots. It's been good run after catch. This has really been high-level offense on display right from the jump.
And he'll work forward for about 3. It's second down. Quick throw, taken in, and they'll whistle him down, but not before he picks up a first down after a gain of 7.
Down, Houston.
From the shotgun, it's a give up the middle. He'll be taken down after a gain of 2. Hook him up on a second down and 8. To the end zone, it's intercepted. Picked off by Javon Holland.
So much of that play comes down to the defender's position. Being able to get himself to a spot, to get his hands on the ball, and a chance at that pick. Mike, when that ball was thrown, me and you are sitting here saying, that's a touchdown. And instead, they force a turnover, and now their offense is back on the field.
The home team's offense ready to take over once more. Things not looking good. But see if they get the turnaround going here. They'll start this drive with first down. Looking middle of the field, it's complete. And that keeps them ahead of schedule. That's a first down completion of 7 yards. Here's a 2nd and 3 forthcoming. Pitts is the man in motion. He'll drop to throw. Short throw taken by Pitts. And they'll get him down after a gain of 5, but that is enough for a first down. It's incomplete. What a good job defensively to meet him just as the ball was arriving. And it'll be 2nd down. They'll look to throw again. That's the 4th time tonight he's been intercepted. And his offense is going to be all set up with a short field and a chance to extend their lead.
And at this point in the game, Mike, we all know one play can be the difference between winning and losing. And now after that poor throw, we'll see. Can they capitalize on this extra possession that they just stole?
The Texans offense ready to get back at it. They are moving in on a double-digit win season. A 10th victory on the year to start this drive with first down. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. To the right side here, pass is caught. He's going to be marked down at the 12-yard line. A fresh set of downs to work with. It is first down and 10. Now they'll set up to throw. He'll swing this one out wide to his running back. And he won't get away. Good open field tackle there to get him down behind the line.
Really well done here by the defense, Mike, executing this zone defense, and they've got to be able to pattern read. You're not just going to drop back to a spot and just play like a robot. Based on what the receivers do off the line, the defenders have different rules of where their zones move to. Well, they had that one dialed in right from the jump, and they were able to stop that play really before it got started.
On third down, they'll set up to throw. There's that man again. Another catch. He is in. Touchdown, Houston. That his 2nd touchdown tonight. And that touchdown probably, Greg, ends any small hopes of a comeback on the other side.
Yeah, and I think those chances, Mike, were small to begin with, but with that last score, I think this one is pretty much over.
Now, for the point after. The kick is good. And the Texans will open it up even further here in this 4th quarter. The kickoff team is out on the field, and we're back to it as the kick's away. The return starts from the 5. Nice job by the return team as he takes it across the 30-yard line. The Dolphins offense and the wideout getting set to go once more. They'll try to establish some tempo as they start this one with first and 10. Back to throw here to begin the drop. Who else? Another catch for his favorite target.
Certainly not the biggest play of the day, but a good example of picking up positive yardage, staying ahead of the chains by a well-timed ball and a well-timed route.
Throwing over the middle. This one is complete. And he'll be taken down. The gain is 6, and it's a new set of downs. He picked up the first down.
First and 10 at the 45-yard line.
Back to throw. They'll try to set up the screen here. And no chance to turn and go. That one good for just a couple.
At the 47-yard line.
Back to the air one more time. Gets it away quickly, and it's caught. And they'll work this close to a first down, maybe just a tad short. Don't need much. It is 3rd and inches. He'll look to throw. Over the middle, that's his tight end, Pitts.
One of the easiest ways to negate these really good pass rushes in the NFL, Mike, is just to simply get the ball out of the quarterback's hand as fast as possible. And sometimes it's by design, sometimes it's based on need. Really nice job there by the quarterback, getting into the hands of his receiver and then see what he can do after the catch.
And they bring him down, but not until they get inside the 30-yard line. First and 10. And he can't hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. What a good job defensively to meet him just as the ball was arriving. And it'll be second down. They send one of the tight ends in motion to the left. Back to the air once more on second down. He'll get about 6 before he's taken down. They go 5 receivers for 3rd down and 4. Here comes the blitz as he looks to... Oh, he's going to be bottled up and taken down. They got him.
Certainly hasn't been their best game in terms of rushing the passer, but you find yourself with a lead here in the 4th quarter. No better time for that pass rush to come alive and see if they can close this game out.
That's over the middle and taken in. He's got it. And he will have a Dolphins first down, and it's a big letdown there defensively. Somehow they allow them to convert on 4th and long. He's got it at the 7. And the Dolphins are going to have a 1st and goal coming up. They try to finish off this drive with 6 points. They'll look to throw. That is caught side of the end zone. Touchdown Miami. That's his 3rd touchdown of the game. He's got 19 on the year. Well, it's not going to be enough, but at least they find the end zone at the end of a hard week's work. At least a little payoff with a touchdown, Greg.
Mike, you can just chalk this one up in the column of too little, too late. Give credit to this offense for not going down without a fight, but they're not going to have enough time to find themselves back in this one.
So the late score gets them a bit closer to respectability. We'll try to get even closer with an onside kick.
You have no choice. You find yourself down big here late in the 4th quarter, Mike. You got nothing to lose. Give it a shot. Nice job here by the hands team recovering. They're going to take over possession.
And they bring him down, but not until they get inside the 30-yard line. A gain of 11 on that one. It's good for a Texans first down. Handoff here, up the middle. Not much there, maybe a yard. Now after the run, we get a stoppage for an injured player. That not a welcome development here late in a one-sided game. Up the middle they go. And he's bottled up after a gain of a yard. They're going to try to pick this up on 3rd and 8. Quick throw here is complete. And it looks like he's going to have the first down. What great work after the catch to extend the drive.
Just take what the defense giving you. When you can stay ahead of the chains and just take these easy pitch and catch throws underneath, hitch routes, quick game, now it puts you in a lot more favorable down and distances to eventually attack this defense a little bit more downfield.
To the ground, a first down run. And that'll be a pickup of 3. 2nd and 7. So it's a win for the visiting Texans. They bounced back from the loss last week, really put in a determined effort, and will come away with the victory.